John 4, 1 through 6. What's really scary about Halloween? When we look at this holiday, especially as Christians in the church, sometimes we try to run away from some of these things that we know can be a bit of a challenge in the church. And Halloween is just one of those. Even though the world looks at Halloween as a time of looking at the satanic origins and some of the negativity and the blood and the scary that comes with that, that's not what scares me about Halloween. And that's not what should scare us as Christians about Halloween. When you're using 1 John 4, 1 through 6, there's some things that really should scare us about Halloween. The first thing that should really scare us about Halloween is when we have Christians, we have people in our community who confuse intention with reality and get distracted from the mission that God has called us to be. Although the world's intention with the day was to perpetuate scary, to have Satan worship, to have death and tricks, the reality is that our mission is to help our children to not run from the scary, to not run from the negative, but to be able to navigate the scary of not only Halloween, but navigate the scary of life. There's much more fun and much more excitement and happiness that can come out of Halloween than there is Satan worship, and there is negativity and death and destruction and all that kind of stuff. That's the reality. And so if we get caught up on trying to fight and fuss about how it created and all the stuff behind the scenes and what was it, the intentions of the world, we can get distracted from the mission of helping our children and helping our other brothers and sisters to navigate the scary of life. The second thing that should be really scary about Halloween is that Christians oftentimes miss an opportunity to show Christ in action. Because that's when Christ shows up. When life gets to be a little rough, when life is a little tough, that's when we need more Jesus in our life. We can use Halloween as an opportunity to show Christ in action and teach our children how to respond to life and how to respond to people who question their ability to have a good time on a holiday that really wasn't originally meant for us. This day is a day to show our children how to walk through the valley of the shadow of death and get some goodies along the way and come out stronger, more powerful, more secure than when we went in. And then the final thing that's scary about this Halloween, looking at verse 5, is that it talks about how the message is from the world to the world. And what scares me is that we could take the message that what the world was saying from the world to the world and embrace it as a message for us, and it should not be a message for us. This Halloween thing, it's a fun, happy time. But the word says in verse 4, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits. And the intention is that they may have intended it to be like false prophets, but the reality is this is a fun time. Verse 4 talks about how little children, you are from God and you have conquered them, and what's greater than who is in you is greater than what is in the world. And therefore we don't have no need to be scared as we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Simply put, Jesus had a simple message to us. That even though he was walking through a world of death, deceit, and destruction. He did not miss an opportunity to show love in action. He didn't miss an opportunity to show what he was here for. And so therefore, even though they intended for his death to be a final nail in the coffin of Christianity, the reality was it was his mission to make his sacrifice and resurrection the beacon of everlasting hope for all. Amen. God bless you. The reality of what's really scary about Halloween is not what the world does, but our perspective.